Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another explosive episode of The Real Daytime Show, where we dive deep into the glitz, glamour, and gut-wrenching drama of celebrity life. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a moment that's got Hollywood buzzing like a beehive on fire, the shocking clash between two powerhouse women, Arla Gibbs and Garcelle Beauvais. Picture this, it's a sun-drenched studio in Los Angeles, the kind with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the palm trees swaying lazily in the breeze, but inside, the air is thick with tension, hotter than a summer sidewalk. Arla Gibbs, that fiery rising star known for her unfiltered takes on daytime TV and her breakout role in that indie flick about family secrets, struts onto the set like she owns it. She's dressed to kill in a sleek red pantsuit that hugs her curves just right, her hair cascading in perfect waves, diamonds glinting on her fingers as she waves to the cheering audience. Garcelle Beauvais, the elegant queen of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, counters with her signature poise, flowing white blouse over tailored jeans, her smile as sharp as a stiletto heel. The host, that charming veteran with the perfect coif and easy laugh, kicks things off with light banter about summer trends and upcoming blockbusters, but you can feel it, that undercurrent of electricity building, like thunder rumbling before the storm hits. The audience is packed, eager fans clutching their iced lattes, influencers snapping selfies, a few industry insiders whispering in the back rows. Arla's there to promote her new talk segment on empowerment, while Garcelle's dishing on her latest charity gala for underprivileged kids. It starts innocently enough, compliments fly, laughs echo, and the crowd eats it up. But then, oh then, the host pivots to that loaded question about authenticity in Hollywood: how do you stay real when the spotlight twists everything? Arla leans into the mic, her eyes sparkling with mischief, and drops her first zinger. Garcelle, honey, you've been slaying on Housewives, but let's be real, those reunions. They're scripted chaos, right? All that yelling and crying, it's like a soap opera on steroids. The audience gasps, a ripple of nervous giggles spreads, and Garcelle's smile freezes just a tad, her manicured nails tapping lightly on the armrest. You see, these two go way back, co-workers on a past project, friends who shared laughs over margaritas, but rivals in the cutthroat world of fame. Arla's always been the bold one, the disruptor who calls out fakeness like it's her job, while Garcelle embodies grace under pressure, the trailblazer who's broken barriers as the first black housewife. But today, that history is about to ignite. As the cameras zoom in, capturing every micro-expression, the host tries to steer back to safer waters, asking about self-care routines. Arla nods politely but can't resist. Self-care. For me, it's therapy and tequila. For some, it's dodging tough questions on national TV. The jab lands, subtle but slicing, aimed straight at Garcelle's much-talked-about reunion walkouts. The crowd murmurs, sensing the shift from playful to pointed. Garcelle tilts her head, her voice smooth as silk but edged with steel. Arla, darling, if you've got something to say, say it. We all know Housewives is raw, unlike those polished daytime chats where everything's rehearsed. Boom. The gloves are off. The audience erupts in applause mixed with ooze, phones are out recording every second, and the host's eyes widen like he's just won the lottery of live TV mishaps. This isn't just chit-chat anymore, it's a showdown, two queens circling each other in a coliseum of spotlights and swirling rumors. Arla's cheeks flush, her laugh a touch too loud as she fires back, raw. Or, just reckless. Throwing shade at friends on camera isn't empowerment, it's exhaustion. Garcelle's eyes narrow, her posture straightening like a warrior donning armor. The tension coils tighter, the studio lights seeming to burn brighter, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Did she just go there? This is gold. And just like that, what was meant to be a feel-good segment spirals into the viral moment of the year. But we're just getting started. Folks, stick around as we unpack how a simple question about loyalty turns into a full-blown feud that no one saw coming. The air crackles, hearts race, and in the world of daytime drama, this is prime time. Fast forward a few beats, and the studio's energy has flipped from electric to explosive, the kind of vibe where you can almost taste the popcorn of anticipation. Arla Gibbs, undeterred by the initial frost in Garcelle's gaze, doubles down with that trademark smirk of hers, the one that's launched 1,000 memes. Look, Garcelle, I love what you do for representation, truly. But when you walk off those sets, leaving your sisters hanging, it sends a message: unity's optional when the heat's on. The words hang heavy, slicing through the polite applause like a knife through butter. Garcelle, ever the diplomat with a dash of diva, crosses her legs slowly, her gold hoop earrings catching the light as she leans forward. Optional. Arla, I've carried the weight of being the For years, first black lead, first to call out the BS. Walking away. That's me choosing peace over poison. The audience leans in, a collective breath held, as if the whole room's suspended in this bubble of brutal honesty. Backstage, producers are scrambling, earpieces buzzing with frantic whispers. Let it roll, this is ratings dynamite. And roll it does. Arla, her voice rising like a crescendo in an opera, counters with fire, peace. Or pride. You preach sisterhood on Insta, but in the trenches, it's every woman for herself. I've seen the clips, cursing out the cast, storming off like a scripted exit. That's not real, that's reality TV theater. Gasps echo, a few fans in the front row clutching their pearls, literal and figurative. Garcelle's laugh is low, almost musical, but laced with lightning. Theater. Says the woman whose empowerment segments are ghostwritten by publicists. At least my mess is mine, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. The host jumps in, sweat beading on his brow, trying to play referee with a joke about Hollywood egos, but it's futile, the dams burst. Arla's hands gesture wildly, her red nails flashing like warning signals, unapologetic. Ungrateful. Those women built the platform you stand on, and you bite the hand that feeds. The crowd's divided now, half cheering Arla's audacity, half murmuring support for Garcelle's resilience. Social media's already ablaze, tweets flying faster than confetti at a parade, hashtag Arla vs Garcelle trending, clips clipped and shared in seconds. Garcelle rises slightly in her seat, her presence commanding the space. Bite. I'd rather starve than swallow lies. You want real talk? Fine, your rising star glow up came from shading folks like me to get noticed. Pot, meat kettle, oof. The studio falls into a stunned hush, broken only by the hum of cameras and the distant LA traffic outside. Arla's face hardens, her eyes locking onto Garcelle's like lasers, shading. I'm speaking truth to power. You're the one dodging accountability, hiding behind boundaries, while the world watches you crumble. The argument escalates, voices overlapping in a symphony of sharp retorts, Arla accusing Garcelle of performative feminism, Garcelle firing back about Arla's opportunistic climbs. The host's pleas for commercial breaks fall on deaf ears. This is live, unscripted fury unfolding in real time. Fans in the audience are on their feet, some yelling encouragement, others filming with shaky hands. It's messy, it's magnificent, a clash of titans where every word is a weapon, every pause a powder keg. And as the seconds tick by, you realize this isn't just about these two, it's the underbelly of fame exposed, the envy, the exhaustion, the eternal dance between authenticity and ambition. The lights flicker subtly, as if the studio itself is holding its breath, waiting for the next thunderclap. But hold on, because what comes next? A revelation that flips the script entirely, pulling in old wounds and fresh betrayals that neither woman saw coming. The drama's just revving up, engines roaring toward inevitable collision. Now, the heat's cranked to inferno levels, the studio air conditioning straining against the waves of raw emotion radiating from the stage. Arla Gibbs, her composure cracking just a hair, a stray curl falling across her forehead, dives deeper, her tone shifting from playful jab to pointed probe. Garcelle, let's cut the glamour for a second. That reunion walk-off, calling your cast assholes. It wasn't empowerment, it was escape. From what? Facing your own role in the toxicity. The question lands like a mic drop, the audience erupting in a mix of cheers and shocked silence, phones thrust high to capture the unraveling. Garcelle Beauvais, unflinching, her dark eyes flashing with the fire of 1,000 unspoken battles, doesn't miss a beat. She uncrosses her legs, planting her feet firmly as if grounding herself for war. Escape. Arla, I've escaped worse than a Bravo set, poverty, prejudice, the glass ceilings you pretend don't exist. Toxicity, it's not me, it's the system that pits us against each other for views. Her words resonate, drawing nods from the diverse crowd, women of color in particular leaning forward with fierce solidarity. The host, now a mere spectator in his own show, mops his brow with a handkerchief, muttering something about passionate discourse, but no one's buying the soft sell. Arla presses on, her voice a whip crack. System. Are your choices. You rail against the white gaze, yet cozy up to it when ratings call. That staged robbery drama with Dorit. You fueled it, then fled when it burned. Whispers turn to murmurs. The reference to Old Housewives lore stings fresh, dredging up headlines from years past. Garcelle's laugh is bitter now, echoing off the rafters, fueled. I questioned for truth, not tea. Unlike you, darling, whose truths are timed for TikTok virality. What's your escape? Another podcast pivot when the shade stops selling. The barbs fly faster, a verbal volleyball match where each spike draws blood. Arla stands, her chair scraping loudly against the floor, gesturing emphatically, virality. This from the queen of cryptic posts and comeback tours. You're a survivor, sure, but survival's no excuse for sidelining sisters who lifted you up. The audience is electric, a sea of wide eyes and open mouths, some chanting, Garcelle. Garcelle, while others root for Arla's unyielding edge. Backstage monitors flicker with incoming alerts, producers debating cut to break, but the directive comes down, ride the wave. Garcelle rises too, her height commanding, voice steady but searing, lifted. Used, I've mentored more newcomers than you've met, Arla. You're unfiltered, act. It's filtered through envy, watching from the sidelines as I broke through doors you'd kill to knock on. The personal twist hits hard. Arla's jaw tightens, memories of shared auditions and late-night vents flashing and spoken between them. Envy. Try exhaustion from carrying icons who drop the load at the first sign of sweat. She retorts, her volume climbing, hands slicing the air. The crowd's on fire now, applause crashing like waves, the energy so palpable it's almost visible, sparks in the spotlight haze. The host finally interjects with a desperate plea, ladies, we're all allies here. But it's too late. The argument's a beast unleashed, devouring decorum. Revelations tumble out, Arla admitting to leaked texts shading Garcelle's, diva demands, Garcelle countering with stories of Arla's backchannel bids for housewives spots. It's cathartic, chaotic, a purge of pent-up Hollywood hierarchies. Fans tweet furiously, this is better than therapy. Arla's spilling to your blood. As the clock ticks toward the segment's end, the tension peaks, bodies leaning across the divide, breaths synced in suspense. But just when you think it'll fizzle to forced hugs, Arla delivers the detonator, a whisper shout about Garcelle's hidden alliances that no one expected. The studio freezes, then fractures into pandemonium. Stay tuned, this feud's fuse is lit, and the blast radius wider than we ever imagined. The fallout from that whispered bomb hits like a seismic shift, the studio floor practically vibrating under the weight of collective shock. Arla Gibbs, her chest heaving from the verbal marathon, points an accusatory finger across the divide, hidden alliances. Garcelle, you cozy with producers, scripting your walk-offs for sympathy edits, while the rest of us grind without the golden parachute. The accusation echoes, amplified by the microphones, drawing horrified gasps from the front rows, fans who've idolized Garcelle's grit now questioning the gloss. Garcelle Beauvais recoils as if slapped, her elegant frame tensing, but she recovers with regal fury, her voice a velvet thunder, golden parachute. Try glass elevator, shattered every step by doubters like you. Alliances. I've earned every ally through blood, not backroom deals. What's your parachute, Arla, jumping on bandwagons, till they crash. The retort stings, evoking Arla's string of short-lived gigs, and the audience buzzes like a hive disturbed, murmurs swelling to a roar. The host, face flushed crimson, waves his arms like a traffic cop in a storm. Whoa, let's breathe, commercial in 5. But time's a traitor, the cameras keep rolling, capturing every furrowed brow and flared nostril. Arla, emboldened by the adrenaline rush, circles the stage like a panther, earned. Or entitled, you lecture on boundaries but bulldoze boundaries, remember that co-host spot you snagged on the reel. Left us all in the dust for Bravo bucks. The nod to their shared daytime past, Garcelle's stint on the now-defunct talk show, unearths old resentments, the crowd oohing in recognition. Garcelle's eyes well but don't spill, she's a fortress, dust. I paved paths, Arla. You're the dust storm, whirling in, stirring chaos, vanishing when winds change. That spot was mine to take, regrets your shadow, not my sin. Applause erupts unevenly, split loyalties fracturing the room, Arla's younger fans cheering her rawness, Garcelle's loyalists hailing her legacy. Social feeds explode. Hashtag daytime drama peaks, with clips dissected frame by frame. Arla halts her prowl, facing Garcelle square, legacy. Built on what? Tears and tantrums. I've built mine brick by brick, no safety net, while you swing from chandeliers of privilege. The privilege pivot ignites fresh fire. Garcelle steps closer, the space between them charged like a live wire. Privilege. As a black woman in this town. Try peril. You've got the nerve to lecture me on nets when your bricks are borrowed from my blueprint. The proximity amps the intimacy of the insult, breaths mingling in the mixed void. The audience is transfixed, a living portrait of rapt attention, elders nodding sagely, millennials. Live tweeting fury. Producers signal wildly from the wings, but the women's locked in, a duel at dawn without dawn. Arla's voice cracks with passion, blueprint. Stolen and sold back to us at premium. Your exits aren't bold, they're bailouts from accountability. Garcelle counters swift, accountability. Look in the mirror, your spotlight's borrowed light, dimming when truths glare. The exchange spirals, layers peeling back to expose vulnerabilities. Arla's fears of fading fast, Garcelle's scars from industry isolation. It's poetry in prose, ugly beautiful, the kind of raw that redefines rivalries. The host's interruptions dissolve into irrelevance, this is their stage now. As shouts overlap, a fan's yell pierces, hug it out. Laughter bubbles through tension, but it's fleeting, the core wound festers. Then, in a twist that sucks the air from the room, Garcelle drops her mic, not with a bang but a deliberate clunk. Enough. I'm done performing for spectators like you. Arla smirks triumphantly, but her eyes betray a flicker of regret. The crowd holds its breath, sensing the tipping point where words become watersheds. And as the lights dim for that forced break, whispers promise, the second half. It'll eclipse this inferno. Buckle up, the real reckoning awaits. Post-break, the studio hums with renewed vigor, the audience resettled but restless, like coal stoked for round two. Lights up, and there they are, Arla Gibbs perched on her stool, legs crossed tightly, a warrior regrouping, Garcelle Beauvais, mic reclaimed but grip white-knuckled, her gaze a storm cloud ready to unleash. The host, emboldened by the breather, dives in with feigned neutrality. Welcome back to the fire, let's talk reconciliation. Arla, Garcelle, what's one thing you've learned from each other today? It's a Hail Mary lob, but Arla catches it with claws. Learned. That grace can mask grudges. Garcelle, your poise is power, but weaponized. It's a wall, not a bridge. The crowd sighs, a weary wave of, here we go again, but laced with addictive thrill. Garcelle exhales slow, measured, wall. Try shield, from barbs like yours. Arla, your fire's fierce, but unchecked. It scorches allies, not adversaries. The host nods vigorously, but the pivot's pointless, the embers flare instantly. Arla uncrosses, leaning in, scorches. I'm cauterizing cuts you've ignored, the way you sideline rising voices for your solo spotlight. Whispers of shade ripple through seats, fans dissecting the subtext like scholars. Garcelle's retort is rapid fire. Solo. I've spotlit more sisters than you've shaken hands with. Your voice. Its echo, amplifying my melody without credit. The credit claim cuts deep, evoking ghosted collabs and unreturned favors, the audience murmuring empathy. Arla's laugh is sharp, serrated, credit. From the queen of cameos. Your melody's a dirge for dreamers left behind. The metaphor lands lyrical, drawing appreciative hums, but Garcelle parries poetically, dirge. My song's symphony, harmonies you disrupt with discord. Dreamers, you're the nightmare, waking to rewrite histories. Voices rise in harmonious discord, overlapping in a cacophony that's music to masochistic viewers. The host pleads, common ground, Hollywood's tough on all. But it's drowned, Arla asserts, tough. Or tailored, you glide on goodwill I grind for. Garcelle, grind, on gears I oiled first. The cycle spins, exhausting yet exhilarating, peeling psyches bare. Revelations ricochet, Arla confessing envy of Garcelle's unshakable aura, Garcelle admitting Arla's boldness once inspired her scripts. Vulnerability peeks through armor, humanizing the melee, the crowd softening to sniffles amid cheers. Yet pride prevails, Arla probes, inspired. Or imitated, your raw, is rehearsed rebellion. Garcelle, rebellion, yours is rented rage, flashy but fleeting. The barbs evolve, less blade sharp, more bone deep, touching on motherhood strains, career crossroads, the loneliness of limelights. Fans connect viscerally, sharing in silent nods, the universal ache of ambition's cost. The host seizes a lull, apologies. Arla hedges, if I overstepped. Garcelle, regrets mutual, perhaps. A fragile bridge forms, but Arla tests it, mutual. Prove it, own the walk-offs as weakness, not wisdom. Garcelle bristles, weakness, survival's strength you undervalue. The thaw refreezes, tension taut as piano wire. The audience, enraptured, times every tick, this is catharsis scripted by fate. As Segme,